Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of the collection. As you can see here, I am covering my Sega Genesis. And it looks really limited here only because, well, honestly at the time of recording this, I can't find my books for the Genesis games, and my controllers are actually stuck with my old PS2 controllers, which are a little difficult to get to right now, but it's a Genesis. Everyone knows what the controllers look like by now. I only have two of them. So, picture two Genesis controllers sitting right about here, along with the cords and hookups. Those are actually plugged into my entertainment center, only because I still actually have my Sega Genesis hooked up. Now, my collection here is a little small, simply because I didn't actually pick up a Genesis until, God, they were actually discontinuing them in stores. I think we got this at, I don't know, I think it was actually a hardware store or something. There's some store that had like a little small kiosk just for electronics, and I keep wanting to say it was some hardware store at the beach by my house, but yeah, they had this little Genesis there. I think it was like $40 at the time. Came with Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and two controllers, so ended up picking that up. Always played on a Genesis at friend's house, but never actually owned one until the very, very end. And because of that, I actually got all my games pretty much at the end, and yeah. So going through them, obviously, there's my Genesis. This game is probably one that has the most memories for me, because Afterburner 2 used to play this at my old daycare when I was a little kid, and sure enough, the friend that actually used to bring it to the daycare all the time actually gave me his copy in elementary school, like right before everyone went their separate ways, and still have it to this day. Still pop in and play it every once in a while. Actually really happy that they put Afterburner Climax on the 360, because that's one of my favorite games of all time now. But still have that. Now I have Biohazard Battle. This game we actually got from a, well, I guess it used to be a family friend. I don't think anything's together now, but yeah, played it a few times and he said go ahead and keep it. Really interesting game, had a lot of power-ups and stuff. Kind of like the Raiden game. Well, not really. Think more like Galaga, I guess. I don't know, Galaga, but with power-ups. Then I got Caesar's Palace, because apparently I love gambling, and I have what seems to be a gambling game on most of my systems. Garfield Caught in the Act. It's a little game I got when we went on a trip, and I think it was an FYE that had a bunch of Genesis games on clearance. NBA Jam Tournament Edition. Always played it on my Game Gear, and when I did get a Genesis, I decided to go and find a copy of this. I don't think I ever played it, though. This is a game that's been more of a recent pickup, probably right before the channel actually started. I actually can't read that right now. Raiden Trad? I don't know. I haven't popped in and played it yet, but I plan on doing it very soon. I really love a lot of the Raiden games, so that should be enjoyable. As I said, I got my Genesis near the very end. At the time, it was coming with Sonic the Hedgehog 3, so I had to go and find a used copy of the first Sonic. Not for resale. Yeah, that really paid off, didn't it? Now I got Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Also had to get it from a used game place. Once again, not for resale. So I'm assuming this was with the Sega Genesis 2, the version that a lot of people see with the, what is it, Sega CD? Then of course Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Gotta love all the Sonics, not really much to say there. And once again, just like the Game Gear, I love pinball games, so Sonic Spinball. Honestly played hours and hours of this at a time, same as the Game Gear. Then another recent pickup right before the channel started. I've seen plenty of videos and have heard lots of people talk about Street Fighter 2, and I actually decided just to go ahead and get my own copy of it. I actually did play it a lot as a kid, so I decided, you know what, I do have a Genesis now. There's plenty of different versions of this out there, so when I saw one, I went ahead and grabbed it. We got The Simpsons, Bart's Nightmare, kind of similar to the Game Boy games. It's just a little Simpsons spin-off. Kind of fun. Tiny Toons, Buster's Hidden Treasure. Once again, kind of like the Game Boy game. Lots of fun. Kind of miss having Tiny Toon games now. They weren't too serious, but they were actually fun. And here's one. My friend Stephanie K-Cup actually got this for me as a little gift. Seems when KB Toys was going out around us, she found that they had a copy of this left. And that was actually in high school, so that was only a few years ago when stores were still putting out Genesis games that they found in the back. But it was really cool. I've got the box of this in the book and everything. It's all put up nicely. It's the one game where I know exactly where the book is. And then, finally, like everyone else, I have to have Sonic and Knuckles. What collection isn't complete without Sonic and Knuckles? Blah. Almost fucked that up horribly. But, as everybody knows by now, you put cartridges in there. Obviously Sonic 1 through 3, and you get to use Knuckles as one of the characters. One of the more fun things, though, is you can put in any of the other games, and you get to play like the little Sonic 3 bonus levels where you're going for the Chaos Emeralds. And sometimes they let you do cooler stuff with the games. It just depended on the game itself. But that is it for my Genesis collection. Obviously very limited, and I don't know, since I'm actually finding more and more used game places now, I actually look to expand this collection a lot more over time and get a lot more use out of it. But for now, that's it, and yeah, that's it for the day. So tune in for another episode of the collection next week, when I will be doing, what are we up to? The Nintendo 64 will be the next episode. And that collection's a little bit bigger than these past couple weeks, so enjoy.